Today on iPod 70, Alto Intenso for the Vertuo line. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another coffee tasting video. If it's your first time here, we are an Nespresso-centric channel. We deal with the original line and the Vertuo line of Nespresso. If that is what you're looking for, you have found the right channel. For my returning Podhead family, any and all announcements will be at the end. But without further ado, let's get to today's star attraction, Alto Intenso. We're making our way through the lines of stuff that they're discontinuing. So let's take a look at what they have to say. Alto Intenso. So the aromatic profile. The washed Guatemalan Robustas, dry wood and dark caramel notes are the pillar of the strength of this Vertuo coffee. So we know because it's a Robusta that it's gonna have a little bit more bite. That's probably gonna be good. I like that. Sweet, malty notes refine the boldness and strike a compelling harmony. These more delicate Costa Rican Arabica aromatics sing through the lingering bitterness and thick crema of this rare and refined Robusta. So there we go, there we have it. It is a 14 ounce, intensity 7. A lot of you mentioned last week that you liked the Intenso version versus the Alto Dulce. And I don't know, we'll see. Let's take a look at the pod here. Oh, if I can get the box open. There it goes. Well, that's kind of cool looking. All right, so there's your pod. Kind of almost like, I don't know what you'd call it, almost like an emerald green, but then almost like streaks of silver going through it. It is labeled on the bottom, which you know we love. Dry wood and dark caramel notes. Alto Intenso. Oh, let's go brew a cup. All right, so we're probably gonna have the same problem we had last week. I still don't have a mug that'll actually hold it all. But let's get this guy going. So round one, just the coffee by itself. This was they said thick crema. Yeah, it almost looks like it actually looks better on the other side. It's like a little wall standing there. Wow. Oh, and it smelled wonderful while it was brewing. I think we're gonna have the same issue as the other one. Layer right down in here is actually separated from the rest of the coffee. So I'm gonna take a look at what the actual intensity is once I stir this. So let's go give it a taste. The intensity level, they give it a 7. I would say, yeah, barely a 7, more like in a mid 6. Here we go, let's just give this guy a taste. So round one. That's not bad. Ooh. Yeah, the aftertaste, was that? So I'm not sure if I tasted dark caramel right off the bat, but there is definitely a woody note coming through. So you get kind of that intense Robusta bitterness, woody notes to it. So far pretty nice. Second drink was a little bit more mellow than the first, but still has, yeah, a little bit. It's a lot of it is, it tastes pretty smooth. So I'm gonna guess again that the acid level is fairly low. Mouthfeel is okay, but I think last week's was a little bit nicer. This one seems to have just more of a a hit and it goes, less of that nice textured feeling. So we may want to change this one up a little bit with the milk, see how that plays out, but overall really good. It would seem to me in the morning, this one might be, and maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want a kick of coffee. Maybe you want that punch in the face for kind of the bitterness. It seemed to me last week that the Dulce had a little bit of a smoother, the whole thing was just a smoother cup. This one's got a little more bite, a little more kick to it. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just, I don't know if people in the morning want that hard of a hitting coffee, but probably okay. Again, the reason I mentioned the morning and I mentioned, you know, where I usually don't in most of the videos is I'm assuming these are the larger ones, probably a travel mug or a to-go mug or a to-go cup of some kind, not so much your evening lounging coffee or a mid-afternoon coffee. Little bit of a woody thing. Again, I don't know that I taste the caramel. For me, it's more of a little bit of a burnt, almost like a campfire charcoal aftertaste. So you kind of get that initial bite and then kind of a campfire woody charcoal aftertaste. So it's like a woody, it's bite, woody, charcoal, kind of in that order. So I think we ought to try, I think we'll do what we did last week, since again, I barely have a mug that'll hold that, let alone that and some milk. So I think we'll do exactly what we did last week. We'll use our pour over carafe and put it to good use. So let's go round two. Let's go brew another cup. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing we did last week. I'm gonna get the pod going. Then I'm gonna take 5 ounces of milk or 148 milliliters. I'm gonna put that in here. And then I think with the intensity and the bite that that has, I really wanna head a different direction. And I'm gonna add, for the sweetener to the milk, I'm gonna add a couple good pumps of chocolate. In fact, I'm gonna add 4. And then all I'm gonna do is put it on normal froth mode and get that guy going. I was reminded that for those of you that don't use the pumps, 4 pumps would be the equivalent of like 2 tablespoons. Each 2 pumps basically equates to a tablespoon. So our milk has finished. Ooh, my favorite part. I'm just gonna add this in. Oh man, and again, this coffee just smelled so good while it was brewing. Just incredibly good smell. All right, let's go give this a taste. I feel all fancy. Smells wonderful. Let's give it a taste. Oh. That would be delicious in the morning. The coffee, oh man. Yeah. I think that was the right amount of everything. Yeah. Just a little bit of chocolate coming through. They mentioned the caramel. Again, I don't really taste that, but that wonderful woody, but that Robusta bite that comes through. You still get the Robusta bite, so you can definitely tell that you got a good cup of coffee in here. And then the milk helps smooth out that end a little bit. And then the wonderful, just light layer of chocolate. That's very, very good. And I was just noticing, even just the short time here, we actually do have a little bit of separation. So we must have a reasonable amount of oil, because that's a decent amount of oh, wow. Kind of rotating it around. I hope you can see that. That is a decent oil layer for that large of a cup of coffee and that much milk, and it's creating that much separation. Yeah, this must have a decent amount of oil in it. It didn't seem like it though, because the mouthfeel wasn't there. There wasn't a lot of lingering taste. There wasn't a lot of that texture that we had last week. Very nice now, very smooth, wonderful. Would be, again, if you put that together, took it with you while you were having your daily commute or going to the office, that would be just a wonderful treat. It would be a nice cup of coffee. So let's take a look at what they're doing. All right, so Intenso, we got $12 a sleeve or $1.20 a pod. Smooth and strong, cereal, woody. Yeah, I don't know if it was cereal. I tasted predominantly that woody taste with that almost like that charcoal finish. So where does that land this guy? Again, we have to remember it's a 10-cent upcharge, but we're almost getting effectively a double cup of coffee. This would be, again, a wonderful one for the morning. Add that little bit of chocolate in there just to give that smoothness to your milk. Great all the way around. I think this one again falls kind of like last week. 3 out of 5 pods. Just a good, decent cup of coffee. If I was gonna nitpick, I would say 3.5. It was better than last week, but not a 4. So 3.5 pods if that's a thing. That'll bring us to a close of this week's video. I thank you so much for your time. If you made it this far into the video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you're alerted anytime we drop a new video, which is every Friday. Speaking of Fridays, I hope my patrons enjoyed their video. You're getting them about 2 days early, and hopefully this week's is going to be commercial free. I'm gonna attempt to do something on YouTube and see if it gets it to you commercial free also. So let's cross our fingers, hope that worked, and then possibly by next Friday's video, we may have something special to let you know about. So be looking forward to that. To my wonderful patrons that make so much of this possible, thank you all for your support, especially those that have been going for so many years now. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you to all of my new patrons. We got quite a few new ones, and I thank each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time and going over and supporting the channel. If you would like to support the channel, join us over at patreon.com/IPON70. It's the same as the YouTube channel, and you too can get the videos a few days in advance and hopefully commercial free. My wife wanted me to tell you thank you to everyone who commented. She read all of the comments, and thanks you all for your wonderful support of her beautiful artwork. And so she didn't want to come on and tell it to you herself, but I will convey the message for her. Until next Friday with another coffee video, have a great rest of your day.